Hello, in this lecture we will find the area of this blue triangle. As you can see in the drawing, we have a rectangle that contains three right triangles and also the blue triangle, and the areas of these three right triangle is given. The area of this triangle is 27 units, the area of this right triangle is 12 units, and the area of this right triangle equals to 15 units. And we want to find the area of the blue triangle. So it is very simple, because the area of this blue triangle equals to the area of the rectangle, minus the areas of the three triangles that is given to us. So the only thing that we need to find is the area of the rectangle. And the area of a rectangle is the width of the rectangle times the length of the rectangle. So let's find it. So let's define the width of this rectangle as A, and the length of this rectangle will be defined as B. Okay? The length of this rectangle will be defined as B. As you have already know, the area of any rectangle equals to the width of the rectangle times the length of the rectangle, or in our specific rectangle it will be A times B. Okay, so I will write it down. The area of a rectangle equals to the width of the rectangle times the length of the rectangle. So, as I already told you, the only thing that we need to find is the length of the rectangle, that is in our case A times B, and then we will subtract from the area that we found, the area of the rectangle, the sum of the areas of these three right triangles. So the area of the rectangle minus the sum of the areas of the three right triangles will be the area of the blue triangle, and that's all. So the area of this specific rectangle equals to B times A, or A times B, is the same. Okay. So the area of any rectangle is the width of the rectangle times the length of the rectangle, and in our case the area of our rectangle equals to A times B or B times A. It's the same. So let's define the base of the triangle that its area is 15 units. Let's define it as Y. The base of this right triangle that its area is 15 will be defined as Y. So you can immediately deduce that the base of the triangle that is area is 12 units will be the width, the length of the rectangle that is B minus the base of this triangle that is Y. So B minus Y is the base of this triangle that is area is 12 units. In the same way, we will define the height of this right triangle that is area is 27 units. We will define the height as X. And you can immediately deduce that the height of this triangle that is area is 12 units will be the width of the rectangle that is A minus the height of the triangle that is area is 27 units, that is X. So A minus X equals to the height of the triangle that is area is 12 units. Okay? As you already know, the area of a triangle equals to the base of a triangle, the base of the triangle times the height to the base of the triangle, all divided by 2. Okay, so this is the formula for the height for the area of any triangle. The height times the base divided by 2 is the formula for the area of any triangle. Okay, so we will use this formula in order to find the equations for the areas of these three right triangles that we already know the area of this triangle is 15, but we will create the formula in order to calculate this area, and we will do the same way for this triangle and this triangle. So the first equation will be the formula for the area of this triangle that is area is 15 units, but we want to create the formula for this area. So the formula for this area is the base of the triangle that is Y times the height of the triangle that is A divided by 2 equals to the area of this triangle but we have already know that the area equals to 15 units, so we will write it down. So the first equation is the formula for the area of the triangle, that is area is 15 units, and the formula for that area is the base of the triangle, that is y, times the height of the triangle, that is a, all divided by 2. Okay, so that is the first equation. Then the second equation will be the formula for the area of this triangle, that we already know that its area is 12 units, but we want to first of all we'll do the area of this triangle, of the formula for the area of this triangle. As I already told you, we have already know that the area equals to 27 units, but we want to create the formula for this area. Okay? According to our general formula for the area of the triangle, that the area of any triangle is equals to its base times its height divided by 2. Okay, so the area of the triangle, that is area is, or the formula for the area of the triangle, that is area is 27 units, will be the base of the triangle, that is b. B is also the length of this rectangle. Okay, b times the height of this triangle, that is x, all divided by 2. That equals to the area of this right triangle, but we have already know that the area equals to 27 units, so we will write it down. Okay, so the area of the triangle, or the formula for the area of the triangle, that is area is 27 units, equals to b times x divided by 2. Okay, and the area is given to us and is equal to 27 units. And the last triangle is the triangle that is area is 12 units. We want to create the formula for this area. So the formula for the area of the triangle is the base of the triangle, that is b minus y, times the height of this triangle, that is area is 12 units, that is a minus x, all divided by 2 is equals to the area of this triangle. But we have already know that the area equals to 12 units, so we write it down. Okay, so the next step that we will do is to take out y and x out of their equations. First of all, we will take out y from the first equation. I write it again. The first equation is y times a divided by 2 equals to 15. Okay, this is our first equation, y times a divided by 2 equals to 15. We will multiply both sides of the equation by 2. We will get that y times a equals to 30. Okay, now we will divide both sides of the equation by 2. We can divide by a because a is the width of the rectangle, and it must be a positive number. It can never be 0, so we can divide both sides of the equation by a, and we will get that by equals to 30 over A. Okay, we divided both sides of the equation by A. We got that y equals to 30 over A. We will do the same thing for x. On x, we will take out x from the second equation. In the second equation, b times x divided by 2 equals to 27. We will multiply both sides of the equation by 2. We will get that b times x equals to 54. We can divide both sides of the equation by b because b is the length of the rectangle, so it can never be 0, so it is allowable to divide both sides of the equation by b, and we will get that x equals to 54 over b. Okay, here we multiplied both sides of the equation by 2, so we got that bx equals to 54, and then we divide both sides of the equation by b, and we got that x equals to 54 over b. And we have already know that y equals to 30 over a. The next step will be that we will replace x and y in the third equation by here by what we found here. Instead of x, we will write 54 over b, and instead of y, we will write 30 over a, or we will substitute x by 54 over b, and we'll substitute y by 30 over a in the third equation. Okay? So, the third equation is actually b minus y times a minus x, all divided by 2 equals to 12. So, as I already told you, we'll substitute y by 54 over b, and we'll substitute y by, in the third equation, we'll substitute y by 30 over a, and we'll substitute x by 54 over b. Okay? So, we will get that p minus y, instead of y we will write 30 over a times a minus x, instead of x we will write 54 over b, all divided by 2 equals to 12. Okay? Here we substituted y by 30 over A, and we substituted X by 54 over B. Okay, we will multiply both sides of the equation by 2. We'll get that B minus 30 over A times A minus 54 over B equals to 24. 12 times 2 is 24. Okay, we multiplied both sides of the equation by 2. Now we will open the brackets in the third equation. B minus B times A is BA or AB, it is the same. B times minus 54 over B is minus 54. Minus 30 over A times A is minus 30. And minus 30 over A times minus 54 over B is plus 1620 divided by AB, all equals to 24. Okay, so we open the brackets, and B times A is BA or AB, it is the same. B times minus 54 over B is minus 54. 30 over A times A is minus 30 over A times A is minus 30, and 30 over A minus 30 over A times minus 54 over B equals to 1620 over AB. Now we can subtract 24 from both sides of the equation. We get that AB minus 54 minus 30 minus 24 plus 1620 over AB equals to 0, because 24 minus 24 is 0. And here we have AB minus 54 minus 30 minus 24. In total it is negative 108 plus 1620 divided by AB. So we will write it down. AB minus 108 plus 1620 divided by AB or over AB equals to 0. Okay, so minus 54 minus 30 minus 24 is minus 108. Now we will multiply both sides of the equation by AB. As you already know, A is positive number and B is positive number, and when you multiply two positive numbers by each other, it always be positive number and it will never be 0. So we can multiply both sides of the equation by AB. We will get that AB square minus 108 AB plus 1620 equals to 0. So we multiply both sides of the equation by AB. AB times AB is AB squared. Negative 108 times AB is negative 108 AB, and 1620 over AB times AB equals to 1620. Okay, so we got a quadratic equation, and actually the variable in this quadratic equation is AB. Okay, and actually the general form of a quadratic equation is a times x squared plus b times x plus c equals to 0. Okay, so this is the general form of a quadratic equation: a times x squared plus b times x plus c equals to 0. And actually a, b, and c are the coefficients of the quadratic equation. So we'll write it down. A, b, and c are the coefficients of the quadratic equation. Okay, A, B, and C are the coefficients of quadratic equation, and x is the variable of the quadratic equation that we usually want to find its value. So we write it down that x is the variable of the quadratic equation, and we usually want to find the value of x, and the value of the values of x are the roots of this quadratic equation. Okay, so x is actually also in our specific quadratic equation. X actually equals to a times b, that is the area of the rectangle. Okay, so as I already told you, we usually want to find the value of x, that is the variable of the quadratic equation, but in order to find the value of x, we have a special equation for x, and we always use this equation in order to find the roots of any quadratic equation. And now I will show you the special equation for x. Actually, x equals to minus b plus minus, so we have two answers for x because we have plus and minus of root of b squared minus 4a times c, all divided by 2a two times a. This is actually the special formula that will help us to find the value of x in any quadratic equation. And in our case, that x equals to ab, it will help us to find out the value of a times b, that is actually the area of the rectangle that we are looking for. And after we will find the area of our rectangle, we'll subtract the sum of the areas of the right triangles from the area of the rectangle that we found, and we will find the area of the blue triangle. Okay, so now I will write again the general form of the quadratic equation. Okay, it is axc plus bx plus c equals to 0. Now I will write below this general form of the quadratic equation our specific quadratic equation, that is actually a times b squared plus 108 a times b plus 1620 equals to 0. Okay, this is our quadratic equation, our specific quadratic equation, and we can multiply a times b squared by 1. When you multiply some expression by 1, you change nothing, so it is a lovable. And here I made a mistake, it is minus 108 AB. Okay, so as you can see here, A equals to 1. The coefficient of our quadratic equation A is equals to 1. The coefficient B in our quadratic equation equals to negative 108, and actually x equals to a times b, and c equals to 1620. Okay, so we write it down. A equals to 1, b equals to negative 108, c equals to 1620, and x equals to a times b. So when we will find the value of x, or the values of x, we actually will find the area of the rectangle, and then, as I already told you, we will subtract from the area of the rectangle that we found the sum of the areas of the three right triangles, and the outcome will be the area of the blue triangle that we are looking for. Okay? So A equals to 1, B equals to negative 108, C equals to 1620, and X equals to A times B. Okay? So I will write again the formula for X. X equals to minus 3 plus minus the root of b squared minus 4 times AC, all divided by 2a, okay. This is the general equation for, in order to find the variable x in any quadratic equation. So as you can see here, x equals to a times b, so we write a times b equals to minus b, b equals to minus 108, so minus b is minus 108, it equals to 108, plus minus root of b squared, b equals to negative 108, so b squared is negative 108 square minus 4 times a is equals to 1, so it is 4 times 1 times c equals to 1620, all divided by 2a. So we divide it by 2 times a, that is 1, 2 times 1. So a times b, okay, b square is negative 100 square minus 4 times ac, 4 times a is 4 times 1 times c equals to 1620, so it is 4 times 1 times 620, all divided by 2a, and a is equals to 1, so it is 2 times 1 that equals to 2. So we will calculate the value of the numbers here. A times B equals to 108 plus minus square of negative 100 square equals to 11,664 minus 4 times 1620 equals to 6,480, all divided by 2. Okay, so I'll repeat again. We have 108 plus minus negative 108 square equals to 11,664, and minus 4 times 1620 equals to minus 6,480. So A times B equals to 108 plus minus, so 11,664 minus 6,480 equals to 5,184, all divided by 2. Okay, so 11,664 minus 6,480 equals to 5,180, or divided by 2. So we got that A times B equals to 108 plus minus root of 5,184 is 72 divided by 2. Okay, so the root of 5,184 equals to 72, so we have 108 plus 72, it equals to 180 divided by 2 equals to 90. So 108 plus 72 is 180, and 180 divided by 2 equals to 90. So the first solution for AB is that A times B equals to 90 units. Now we have also the second option, that A times B equals to 108 minus 72 divided by 2. So the second solution for AB is 108 minus 72 is 36, and 36 divided by 2 is 18 units. So we got that AB equals to 18 units. But this answer is not correct because, as you can see in the drawing in the picture, the A times B is the area of the rectangle, and the rectangle itself contains three triangles that the sum of the areas of those three right triangles equals to 54 units. So we can deduce that the area of the rectangle that is A times B cannot be smaller than 54 units, or it must be larger, bigger than 54 units. That is actually the areas of the sum of the areas of those three right triangles. So the area of the rectangle must be greater than 54 units. So the answer for AB, that is 18, is not correct. And the only option that is left, that the A times B, that is the area of this rectangle, is 90 units. And after we know that the area of the rectangle is 90 units, we subtract from the area of this rectangle, that is 90, the area of these three right triangles. So it is 12 plus 27 plus 15 will be equal to the area of the blue triangle. So it is actually 90 units. The area of the rectangle minus the sum of the areas of those three triangles is 54. So 90 minus 54 is 36 units. So the area of this blue triangle equals to 36 units. Okay, the area of the blue triangle is the area of the rectangle minus the sum of the areas of the three right triangles. So the area of the rectangle minus the area of the three rectangles, of the three triangles, of the three right triangles, equal to 36 units. So the area of the blue triangle equals to 36 units. So we'll summarize the lecture. So we wanted to find out the area of the blue triangle, and we actually have already known that the areas of those three right triangles. So the only thing that we want to know is the area of the rectangle, and then after we know what is the area of the rectangle, we will subtract from the area of the rectangle the sum of the areas of the three triangles, and in this way we will get the area of the blue triangle that we are looking for. So in order to get the area of this rectangle, that is A times B, the length of the rectangle times the width of the rectangle, equals to the area of the rectangle, that is A times B. In order to find out the value of A times B, we created three equations that was the formulas that calculated the areas of these three triangles. And the area of the triangle is the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle divided by 2. So the first equation was to create the area of this right triangle, that was the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle divided by 2, so it was y times a divided by 2, and it is equal to 15 units. The second equation was for the area of this rectangle, or the formula for the area of this right triangle rectangle, that is equal to the base of the rectangle times the height of the rectangle, that is b times x divided by 2 equals to 27 units. And the third equation that we created was for the area, for the formula of the area of this right triangle, that was the base times the height divided by 2, or b times b minus y times a minus x divided by 2 equals to 12. And from those three equations that we created, we got a quadratic equation that the variable of this quadratic equation was a times b, exactly what we are looking for, because we are looking for the area of this rectangle, and the area of this rectangle equals to a times b. So by solving the quadratic equation, that the variable of this quadratic equation was a times b, we actually got two answers. The second answer of 18 units is impossible, because the rectangle contains three right triangles, that the total, the sum of those three right triangles, the sum of the areas of those three right triangles equals to 54 units. So the area of the triangle, the area of the rectangle that contains the three right triangles must be greater than 54 units. So 18 units is incorrect answer. So the only answer that is left is 90 units. The solution for the equation for AB of the quadratic equation, AB equals to 90 units, that is the area of the rectangle, and when we subtract it from the area of the rectangle, that is 90, the sum of the areas of those three right triangles, that is 54. So 90 minus 54, we get 36, and 36 units, or 36 units is the area of the blue triangle. Okay? Thank you very much.